That's not me. Ah, that's me. Hey guys, welcome back to the show, and today what we're doing is we're going to do the easiest, simplest, and cheapest, not to mention the cheatiest way to find the Amethyst Geodes in Minecraft, Bedrock, and it probably also works in Java. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to create a brand new creative world so that you guys get a bit of a general gist of how this all works. And this is a little bit cheaty, I will admit that it's a little bit cheaty. So the best way to start off with is generally you find a lot of these around water. Now you could go swimming and seeing what you can find and all that sort of stuff, but there's an easier way. So what you want is 2 fence posts. So if you watch my videos all the time, then you may have seen this before possibly. And what we want as well is a night vision potion. So yeah, any of them will really do. Doesn't really make much difference. And what we're going to do is find an area kind of like this. This is good. So what you want to do is basically delete these two, and they should now be both flowing blocks. You don't want them as water sourced. If they're water sourced, they'll log the actual fence post like that. So you just want it so that it's a little bit like this. So obviously this is not water or anything like that. And now what we can do is just jump down here. Now, if from here, what you want to do is sort of go to the side a little bit, and while you're crouching, basically just sort of shimmy across a little bit, and you'll notice that when you get it correct, that you start, well, not like this, and not like this, but it'll start going through the actual, I guess, the sheet of water where it sort of starts, if you can sort of see it in the corners at the moment. And if I go a little bit forward, it requires a little bit sort of touch and go, that sort of thing. And there we go. So now you can basically see all of underneath the water without the actual water texture happening. Now, why do we want the night vision potion? Well, that's quite simple. All that you want to do is use it, and suddenly everything's much easier to see. Okay, so let's see what we can see. Now, an even easier way is actually, if you're lucky enough to find any and you're actually able to make a spyglass, that's very useful. But if you can't, then if you look over there, that's what you're looking for, is basically a geode, kind of like that. So you can see it without the spyglass, but the spyglass makes it a little bit easier for you guys to see, at least in videos. And is that the only one around here? I believe it probably is. Yeah, it looks like that's the only one that I can see in the area. So even just the normal night vision potion, you'll notice that it does make it a lot easier to see. And over there as well, actually. There's another one just over here. And another one just over here. So it looks like, no, that's a boat. Is that a boat? Yeah, that's a boat. Okay, not looking for those. We're looking for the Amethyst Geodes. And so we've already found 2. So that's easy enough. They're not too bad to find. Around the water's probably the easiest, and there we go. In fact, this even goes into a cave. Oh, I didn't even have to make the hole. Look at that. So I'm not sure of this, but I believe it's the same situation as Java where we can't actually mine out the budding amethyst, which is the ones that grow all the crystals. So let's just test this and go into survival mode and see whether or not we can actually get the budding amethyst. No, it breaks. What if we had silk touch on it? Okay, so back to game mode survival. We've got now a pick with a silk touch, and I'll just choose any of them. And no, you definitely can't mine these out. So yes, just remember that if you're going to build some sort of crystal shard farm or something like that, that you can't mine these out, so you would have to build it wherever basically this whole place is. So that's a little bit of a downside, but on the flip side, you basically can find them fairly easily. There is a second way. I've found that it hasn't worked as well for me so far though. So there is another extra glitch that I made a video on some time ago, so we'll give it a shot. I haven't had it work very well. If it does work, then you take it with a pinch of salt. I will honestly say that. There we go. Okay, finally got the glitch to work. And yeah, can't really see too much. I can see that there's actually a creeper down there, which is somewhat useful. But no, not too much. I'll show it again just so you guys can definitely see what I'm doing. So it's a very sort of weird sort of glitch that sort of occurs. So obviously you found it while I was making trees and all that stuff. So basically you just have a wall behind you. You have 2 blocks high. It should be 2, like that. And then you just basically plant down a tree or a sapling. And then if you go against this back wall here and use that, there we go. And yeah, still nothing. So it's not as good. It's more useful for finding mobs, to be honest. I mean, can you? Okay, you can still use the telescope in this case. So I'll try it one more time just for the sake of it, and then we'll see what we can find. But I doubt that there's going to be too much that I actually do find. And it didn't even work. Okay, so yes, that one is definitely a bit touch and go. So I'll just show you one last time so that you don't have to re-watch the videos and all that sort of jazz. And we'll see if there's some more probably over in that area. I will also say that having your render distance set up to the maximum that it can, it will make your game go slow, but at the same point, it will allow you to be able to find things. So what you want to do is on the left, go down to video, go down to where it has the render distance. Now yours will be different to mine. Mine's on a monstrous computer, so I got up to 80 chunks. You'll probably have something like 32 or 40 chunks depending on the game console. And what that will do is basically load more of the world. So that's very useful. And you just got to remember that you don't really want to keep the render distance too high because it does use a lot more processing power and makes your device sort of slower and get hotter, and especially on mobile phones. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to do it just one last time. I mean, you can even see underneath the water pretty clearly like this. It's not too bad. I mean, you barely sort of need it, but it just makes it that little bit sort of more easier. So let's do that, and let's jump under here, crouch, and slightly just shift. There we go. Nope, I went too far. There we go, there we go. Okay, once you're in position, you can basically get rid of the crouch. You don't sort of need it anymore. Just make sure that you've got enough night vision potion, obviously. And let's see if we can see another one. That's just ocean ruins. Is there any in this area? The things are in the way. That makes it particularly. That could be one over there, actually. I believe it might be. Let's have a look. Can't believe how far you can actually see with these spy glasses. They have some really good range on them. They're really impressive. I mean, how far was I just looking at? So with night vision still on, and yeah, that's looking like a spherical shape. And I would imagine that if I broke into here, that we're going to find ourselves some of our own shards and zombie villages. Right, that's weird, but you get the idea. So basically, yeah, probably my recommendation on the easiest way to actually find these things is, if you can get a spyglass, it makes it a little bit easier, but mainly just going for a night vision potion and also using the wall technique makes it a little bit easier as well. But otherwise, I think the night vision potion probably does most of it. I mean, this is just me wandering above the water, and yeah, I can definitely see this without too much of an issue whatsoever. So night vision potion, try to use the wall thing just if it's really getting quite hard. But other than that, yeah, look at this. We've got 2 already. This is a brand new game, just some random world seed. I haven't set anything up whatsoever, and yeah, we've found some without too much of an issue. Just remember as well, on just before the night finally sets, that if you are using your old seed, then you may have to travel some distance before the actual Amethyst Geodes actually start to be rendered in, because it doesn't sort of replace the chunks that were loaded already. So if this section was all loaded back in 1.16, then it won't actually render new chunks. You'll have to travel to a point where you haven't ever traveled before. So yeah, that's the video. Hope you guys liked it. Hope it helps a bit. I've noticed a few guys on the different chat forums and things like that have been struggling a little bit to find them. So that's my recommendations of how to find them quite easily in a somewhat cheaty fashion. Cheers. Catch you guys.